we met a really interesting eagle. Are we?
Yeah, we are.
Hello. Good evening. Hello.
Hello.
How are you all doing today? We are, of course, Dithering Fights, and my name is James, aka Gruff, aka currently Scattles. For how long? Who knows? Before we get started, we have a few thank yous, mentionables. First off, Forgotten Adventure, who do most of our artwork for the battle map, so you can find them on forgotten-adventure.net. Campaign map, we use assets from Elven Tower, which you can find via the Googles. And we have images and tokens from our friends Daft Camlo and Sir Teethling. Thank you so much, my dudes. You're all great. We also have music from... who's the bloke who does the music?
Oh, he's doing so well. We get the music from Kevin MacLeod. Check out...
Kevin MacLeod, yes.
Man, I need to remember. I think it's Infotech is the name of his... Now, that might be wrong. Don't Google Infotech. It might be wrong. Could be anything. It's the internet. Yeah, Google Kevin MacLeod. I'll stick a link up on our Facebook page later on for Kevin MacLeod's music, which is awesome.
It is. And welcome, folks, to the stream this evening. We're looking forward to having you.
Yeah. So
say hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. So we still can't see me because for the last couple of weeks we said we're going to buy a new camera, and what we did instead was didn't. Well, we've got one en route. We've got one en route. Okay. Kind of didn't.
If it ever arrives.
Blame Royal Mail. It's fine. Everyone else does.
But we've got Sarah. Very vocal. Dave.
Oh.
And Connor.
Playing Lost.
And Connor has been nominated to do our summary, seeing as he got absolutely fit shaped last week.
Yep. I believe we started off already mid-journey. We'd woke up to find our newly adopted Auroch was where we'd left him or her.
Oh.
She's called Martin.
Martin. Yep.
Yeah.
With a Nyjenna still attached. Nyjenna even.
She wasn't doing any baking, so it was definitely Nyjenna.
We
Can't get her out the fridge.
would actually buy us some time. So we carried on our way north to meet this witch. I think actually fairly uneventful journey. And then when we arrived, well, on the journey we'd noticed a bird flying around, the same one following us. When we arrived, we
haven't got there yet, have we? We're on the top of the hill.
No, that's what I mean. When we arrived at where we established our camp was going to be, I haven't drunk tonight. I'm always like this.
I'm just making sure. I didn't want you to think we were somewhere we weren't.
No, I mean, I do now, but that's part of the game. So yeah, we arrived at our camp, set up camp, had some great RP, some of which I actually remember.
A lot of giggling.
If you're that interested, watch it, or don't. Please don't, I was fucking delirious. Yeah, met a new potential party member and his walking perch. Someone want to take over?
Sarah, you take the best notes.
The only notes I took last week are what I read in the book.
Alright.
I mean, you pretty much covered it, right? Like, that was pretty much...
Lost had a really weird moment, didn't he? Where he reached his hand out and he just sort of there for 2 hours, wasn't he? So we put shelter over him. He didn't wake up with twigs in his hair.
He left his hands out and I tried to put grass in it and it just fell through.
That is true. I think I then explained everything that Lost understands about his mistress to at least. In fact, I think it was to the whole party or by itself. Because we tried locating any potential, any of the locations that Lost has seen in his visions to anywhere that anyone has ever travelled to, which up to now I think is dead end, but it's more a question mark than a full sort of dead end, I think. So then we popped outside and noticed a giant barbarian lying up against a tree. After some questioning and some motives were understood, we decided to pair up with the bird and try and take down this witch.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we're 100% sure that the bird, not the barbarian, is the brains of the operation there. So we've been diverting all questions to the bird.
And I've been acting like...
and the barbarian's been acting like that's true, so...
And that's what I've got on believing.
Ranger.
Yes, he is a ranger.
It's a very barbarian looking ranger.
It's normally a barbarian,
He's
that's why.
a ranger Goliath.
Mm-hmm.
He is.
That's it.
We don't actually know what he is, though. We just,
No.
you know,
That's a fair point.
he's a pet.
Goliath aren't unheard of. There is a very large Goliath fortress. Stronghold would be a more appropriate term than fortress. In the mountains. It's that one that actually on the map there says Goliath Stronghold. Yeah, so...
Is that so the Goliath can find the way back?
Well, they've been there a long time, actually. So, quick little bit of lore, why not? Because, I mean, all of your players would know this apart from Lost, who doesn't know anything.
Well, it depends if Nyjenna would have known it.
Oh, yeah, because you've got Nyjenna's memories. So you would know this too. The Goliath's been there a very long time. Liana will remember that back in the days of the Banner being strong, a lot of the coal was purchased from the Goliath stronghold. So that was it was a bit of a powerhouse in that region.
Just some plot points coming back to memory.
So,
You need to remember, don't say, would Lost know that? Would Nyjenna know that?
Alright, yep, Nyjenna knew much, but not as much.
I know, but Lost doesn't know anything.
This is true.
He knows more than he knew a couple of sessions ago.
Yeah.
Would Nyjenna's history be more than his?
Well, he could probably recall more details of her life himself.
Yeah, probably.
That's what I'm saying, but...
Lost has got a long history, he just can't remember any of it.
Yeah.
I can't wait to find out.
I mean, we told him the place that he described, no one's known in like the last 5,000 years, so...
If indeed is that place.
Yeah.
That's a bit questionable.
Yeah, just for anyone who's not watched any of the other episodes, Connor's character Loth doesn't have his memory. So we've decided between me and Connor that I'm going to decide what the memories are. I'm going to decide his backstory, which I've already done, written down, and I'm sharing with Connor piece by piece. So Connor genuinely doesn't know what Loth's backstory is. He doesn't know all of it. He's getting it bit at a time.
I also don't entirely know my god, neither.
No, that's right. He's a paladin. He's not entirely sure who his god is. He has to interpret her signs for what she wants, and hopefully it's going the way that she wants. Hopefully she is in fact a she.
Well, we think she's now similar to Satan, don't we, from what Liana's read and what Lost described.
Yeah,
we don't know that that's who it is, but that's who the similarities lie with.
Yeah.
There's also a couple of contradictions as well. Right. Crack on.
Yeah, cracking on. So we finished the last one where you guys you'd got to the top of this hill, you'd spent the night, you'd kind of hid Nyjenna's body, and you were ready to head off, and then that's pretty much where we ended it. So that's where we're going to pick it up. So you guys are getting ready to head down the other side of this very, very large hill, and make your way towards the ruins where the witches.
Roll my fears.
Please do. Please peer into the future.
Oh, it's not a very good day in the future today.
Well, depends.
For them.
Depends what you use them for.
It certainly does.
So, what's the matching order? Who's leading the way?
I have been so far. You want to
I'll go. Yeah, I'll go.
You lead the way?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's have. It's a nice clear day. The heat of the day is starting to pick up now, but you can see very far ahead. There's no issues there. So let's just have a straight survival check to see if you can successfully navigate your way down.
Blue on the bottom.
Oh!
They show up blue on the sheets now.
This is something that's just happening on Google. It's not happening on Firefox, so nobody uses Internet Explorer, so nobody will ever know.
Still loading Rock on it.
Other browsers are available.
But not very good.
Not very good ones, no. Okay. Yeah, so you, with the help of your tame Goliath, you managed to make your way down the hill with relatively no issues there. There was some rain a few days ago, so in parts, bearing in mind there's no clear path here, there's no dirt track or anything, you literally cross country in it. At times it's a little bit unsteady, and Martin is still with you.
Oh.
He didn't just wander off into the valley then, he's come along.
Well, Martin had gone, but as you go down the hill, Martin is sort of
their way.
He's not at the bottom. He sort of rejoins you as you're coming down the hill. He approaches relatively calmly. So how would he do it? I would say that he'd probably look for Nyjenna, but she ain't there.
Scuttles had been.
I'm gonna say that she keeps a relatively close distance between you. She's observing social distancing. And she's about 20 feet away from you guys, walking parallel, but not quite parallel. Sort of, you can see, the paths will converge lower down the hill. But yeah, for the rest of you, it's a little bit of a struggle. The rest of you, you've got on two legs, but it doesn't take you all day, and sort of late morning, you make it to the bottom quite safely. And Martin has, at this point, rejoined the party. What would you like to do?
Well, so much to keeping him out of sight.
Yeah. I'm not sure what we're gonna do with her. She just seems to want to stick along. You know what I mean? She's kind of our friend now.
Well, we either keep her and take her in with us, or we send her away. Or we tie her
Maybe
up.
we could.
Or maybe we could use it for dinner.
Oh,
What?
Well,
You're not that hungry, surely. You couldn't eat that.
Well, we all need some food.
well, most of us have food.
Scouse is going to place his sort of arm out to Martin. See if it'll elicit a response. Even just a boop. I want to go for a boop.
Okay. So make an animal handling check with advantage, because she is quite friendly to you a lot now. That's a 10. So as you reach your arm out, and she brings a huge muscular form up close to it, and sort of sniffs at you, but you don't quite get a boop. She withdraws just a little bit, sort of gives you a look, and she's looking at the rest of the team. She doesn't seem entirely comfortable.
Hey, big guy.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, I forgot your name. I'm bad with these things. It's Mendes, right?
Just call me Mendy.
Mendy. All right. Okay, so can you like talk to animals? Like you've got an eagle and like I don't know. Can you like converse with animals? Can you talk to your eagle?
So you don't actually have the spell or abilities to speak with animals. You have more of an understanding, and Arrow is tame. So you have the same you have the same sort of relationship as a person does to a loyal dog. You can't have conversations, but basic commands.
I ain't going to tell him that I can, like, not listen to what he's saying, like, sort of thing. I'm just going to, like, his body language just lets me know on what people are saying.
Right. Okay. So you can like just have a full-on conversation with them. It's just kind of like they know.
No, definitely. He's talking to me, yeah, definitely.
Oh, okay. Can you talk to Martin over here?
Yeah. Martin's telling me it's okay, we can have him for dinner.
No, that is not something Martin would say. Martin would be like,
look in his eyes. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just food.
So, her head is so big that you can't look into both eyes at once. But the one that you can see, it looks like a cow's eyes. You've seen cows; these things are adorable.
Does the cow reach its neck out to James like that?
No. It's just kind of stood about 3 feet away from him, just looking at him every now and then, tail flat.
Do we know how to tell Martin not to follow us?
I think if we just punch it, it might fall out.
That seems a bit mean.
That's why I said punch and not stab.
I bring my
Well,
great sword. I bring my great sword out. I bring my great sword out and just try and cut it across its neck.
Do you want to attack it?
I'll try and stand in the way.
Yeah, I'm going to try and parry that, given that I'm right next to it.
Okay. I don't allow PvP in these games, as you know, so I'm going to narrate instead. So no rolls required. Mendy takes out his great sword and brings it down on the beast. At the same time, Lyanna and Scattles move in to stop Lyanna grabbing a hold of your arms as you swing, and Scattles bringing the quarterstaff up to catch the blade before it hits the cow.
I'm sure strength check should be.
Well, when you're dungeon master, you can make calls like that. In the meantime, roll a d1.
We said we're not eating it.
One Martin, it's not safe. Yeah. Go on. Sure.
Make an animal handling check.
So try and give him like a smack on the behind.
You can. So Connor, you can roll with advantage because Lyanna's giving it a smack on the iris.
Thank you.
Then I've seen people do it when they want them to move on. We don't come across a huge cow like this.
And it just sort of, and then starts to trot away from you guys. Slowly. It doesn't look back. It does stop at about 30 feet away from you, take a huge bite of grass, and then it trots on.
Can I shoot my lumber?
That's what they will do.
If you really want to. Okay, so if there's nothing else, you guys can proceed on. We'll go off your earlier.
Thank you. Whatever that noise was.
I don't know. Would you like me to check?
Can do.
It was 2 new followers from somebody called Kevin.
We're nearly at 200 on Facebook.
There's lots of new followers. Ooh, if we get to 200, that's a milestone.
Ray!
We was about 7 off on Facebook of having 200 followers.
Okay, there's lots of these happening now. I'm not going to thank everything. Thanks everybody.
Thank you.
Following.
Thank you all.
It's still going.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we're going to use your earlier roll, survival check.
They're just trying to get us to 200 now.
I don't know what's going on. Oh, come on, this is ridiculous.
So wait, if we hit 200...
If 200, there'll be some sort of giveaway. Get a big bagger now. Whatever.
Keep making noise, they'll stop talking.
Sick of hearing you lot tonight. Playing with cows again.
Yeah, so you guys proceed on, and the area now is getting a little bit less hilly. Like, you know, you guys have been sort of looking over before you got to this huge hill. It's now sort of flatter land. There are still, it's not perfectly flat, you know, this is the wilderness, so there are still ridges, peaks and troughs, but they're much, much smaller. You know, you can see over the hills just about. There's also more trees, though still not many, and what you're seeing is rather than a cluster of smaller trees, what you're seeing now is, as you did at the top of the hill, one very large tree, very, very large, every sort of 400 or 500 feet, so they still are very sparsely placed, and the grassy, although getting shorter now as you move further away from this hilly area into this sort of this prairie grassland, the grass is coming much shorter, but it's still sort of up to, you know, halfway up your shins. It's still quite tall grass. So what's your marching order?
This will be me in front.
I'm going to be right behind him because I'm still kind of not too sure about him.
Don't trust that fucker, do you?
I've been walking
Yeah.
a lot.
Trying to hit my cow.
Is the path we're on the only one that we can see, or is the previous one?
Well, there is no path. You're moving across wild countryside.
Right. Is there any land that seems like this there, like things have been across it and stuff?
Make a perception check.
What's your favourite train? Your favourite train?
Months. So where's Leon?
With lots.
Well, hang on back.
Okay. So what did you get on your roll?
A 10.
A 10?
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad. You can't see anything in the immediate area, but there is sort of, like I said, this is quite flat land, and further along you can see that the land sort of gives way to a river. You can't quite see the river, but you can definitely see the land sort of fading into it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Can I send Auroch?
Are you set in the camp? So Auroch makes a perception check with advantage.
Nice.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, so yeah, this river actually cuts across all of the land. It's not very big. It's not a very wide river, more of a stream. Roughly about 10, maybe 15 feet wide. And you've got to bear in mind here, this is what Auroch sees. Mm-hmm. Auroch's not going to be able to pop down on your shoulder and tell you what the fish.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, there is a bridge not too far from where you guys are, close to a very large tree. But other than that, the countryside doesn't see. It just seems like countryside. There is no massive evidence of sort of trails through the long grass or anything like that.
Is Arrow acting like? Is she doing like a kite movement? Is she seeing anything? Like obviously like a heat sense.
A heat sense? It's
Yeah.
not a predator. It's an eagle.
Yeah.
No, she doesn't. She doesn't pick up on any humanoids or beasts or any of the others that she would normally signal you.
Right.
Definitely no enemies. Of course, you guys have been out here for a while hunting these undead, zombified people that you've been seeing.
Yeah.
She doesn't give you any sort of signal that there's any of those around.
Right. Cool. Yeah. Just let her come sit back on my shoulder.
Okay. So you guys just continue on as you are?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's getting close to midday now, and it's probably time to stop and take a short rest. You don't have to, of course. But you guys haven't eaten or drunk since this morning.
Probably wise to.
Okay, so in terms of where you could stop, you could head for one of the trees. And not so far, it would take you like 5-10 minutes to get to one of the large trees. You could stay in the wide open areas, of which there is plenty of. Every now and then there's rocks and things, and the river that cuts across this sort of thin stream, you're not too far away from the bridge where that is. It's just a small footbridge. Where do you want to set up your midday camp?
We went by the side of one of the trees. Does that like take us out of our way? Does that add extra time?
Yeah, but it's minimal.
Right. Good place of any.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay, no problem. So unless you guys wanted to RP anything in particular, we're going to say that you guys stop and have your lunch, knock off some rations.
Are there any like small bits of wood on the floor or anything?
Not many, and those that are very old and rotted. The tree
Okay.
is very, very healthy, very strong.
Okay. Well, I'm not gonna ruin it.
Yeah.
Ruin a tree for the sake of my craft. So yeah, just standard. Have some food. Have a drink.
Okay. So, when you guys decide to crack back on again, to get back on track, who's leading the way again? Yeah?
Yeah, I guess it's me again.
Okay, so make a fresh survival roll. See how you get on.
No, you was right with that one.
Yeah, he was on the right one. There you go.
This
Yeah.
one, There you go.
Nice. These rolls have been so good. Okay. So yeah, so you gather your wits about you, check out the larger geographical features that are in the distance. You could see the ruins of this place from above, but now that you're getting further down, you can't so much see. It's still off very much into the distance, and you can't quite see exactly where you're going. But nevertheless, you managed to find your way with ease. It didn't take you long at all to get back in the right direction. And you guys trek on this way, and you don't see a soul. And by a soul, I mean you don't see anyone since, or anything since you've seen Martin. Very, very quiet. Now, you've all travelled at one time or another, so to not see anybody is a little strange. Normally you'd come across, even in the wild where you are now, you'd see other creatures, birds, nothing like that around here. And it's close to nightfall before you do see anyone. Not quite nightfall, but the sun is waning, and off ahead, coming up close to you, or that is on a path, an intercourse path, there is a figure on horseback approaching. The sun is behind them, so they appear silhouetted, so you can't make out any features from this range. What would you guys want to do?
We've got an idea on the size of the being.
They're still a ways off, so it's difficult to tell, but you can make a perception check to try and figure it out.
Can we tell how fast?
Sure, I'll have a squint.
Perception check.
Good.
Okay,
Best check yet.
They seem about normal sized. They're in proportion to the horse, for what you would expect.
They're horse-sized.
No, for the size of a medium-sized average human against the horse,
Fine.
they appear
Yeah.
to be yeah.
Mhm.
Speed. The horse is walking. It's becoming a walking speed.
Okay.
So they're not coming at you. It certainly looks. And although your rolls are low, I'll just give you a little bit more. They don't appear to be in any sort of attack posture.
Probably just a messenger, maybe. Or a random traveler. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, there are more of us than there are that person, so maybe we should just, let them go on their own merry way, and we can continue on our own path. Maybe we could
I think we should maybe call out to them when they get a bit closer.
Yeah, like say we're okay. We're not we don't want to scrap or anything like that.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna hang
say
back
maybe
a little bit, let them go forward.
Maybe the 60 to 40 distance we shout out, well, what are your intentions?
And look towards the Goliath that's travelling with us.
I'm just gonna keep my distance.
Don't be pulling weapons if we're only saying hello.
And just carry on walking, like a little bit off from them.
Okay.
I think we still need to keep an eye on that one.
Yeah, I don't think the Goliath is on the same level as the Bard. We might have to look for a dope at school first.
Okay. So the horse continues to move up closer and closer. Eventually, it starts to take a more clear form, and you can see a little closer. This appears to be a gnome riding a small pony rather than a horse. But indeed, it gets to the 40 or so feet away. Do you call out?
Yeah, I take it he is walking, and I didn't just fail the check.
He is walking.
Okay. Hail, friend.
No response.
Is it Razmataz?
It's not Rasmussen.
Oh.
You come from the ruins, no?
She coming a little closer, and now the head is turned towards you, and as we get a little closer, maybe 20 feet away, you can start to make out more of the key features. So this is an old gnome, has sort of white stubble on the face, quite a large mustache which dangles lower than the chin. He's wearing just really basic clothes, so he's got like a woolen shirt with overalls, and he's wearing a hat. It's just an old sort of leather hat. It's quite worn. And as he gets a little closer, he reaches over and puts his hand to his ears. You have to speak up!
Did you come from the ruins?
No, I come from the ruins!
Did you see anyone else?
What?
Have you seen a witch?
The ruins! Where are you going to?
I think we should get closer. This guy is purely hard of hearing. Like, clearly.
Yeah, sorry, I'll make my way towards him.
Okay, yeah, he continues to get closer to you and eventually stops right sort of next to you. He's about head height with scattles, so still sat on the horse. So this guy's only about 4 foot on the horse. He's small, the horse is small. Just, where are you off to?
The ruins.
The ruins?
Yeah.
Why for?
To investigate the potential of a witch.
He just kind of looks at you for a second, and you see his eyes sort of give you a good look over. Witch?
Are you a witch?
No, I'm a gnome.
Got an inside check and we might not be a gnome.
Okay.
Basically, it's more about is it like oh shit, they have to meet sort of.
Okay.
Has he been up to
He's a demon.
mystical no good?
He's a demon.
No goodery.
Gnome goodery.
Oh well.
Like the way you work it.
No goodery.
Thank you.
He seems quite worried by the idea that you're off to kill a witch.
Okay. Does this news disturb you?
No, it disturbs me. A witch?
Yeah.
Where?
Well, we believe in these ruins.
No, where?
Well, that's what we're looking for.
He just sort of... He looks at you in complete bewilderment. I thought you said it was in the ruins.
Oh, we're not in the... We're on our way to the ruins.
Yeah, where's the witch?
We believe she's in the ruins.
Where?
In the ruins.
Somewhere in the ruins. We don't know specifically where in the ruins. Otherwise, we'd know,
So many people live in the ruins?
Well, no, but we're just passing through.
Right. You ever hear any rumors?
Oh, yes.
When you say weird, you mean like you and your horse?
This isn't a horse, it's a pony.
Oh, my bad. Your pony.
Oh, sorry, does your back hurt? Do you want to sit down?
No, my back's fine. I said my never mind. It's fine. Look, we don't want to be keeping you too long, but we just want to know. I mean, have you seen anything weird in the ruins at all?
No, there's nobody tall in the ruins.
What
No,
rumors
I mean...
do you hear?
Lots of rumours.
Like what?
Well, I've only just met you.
That is not a rumor. That's true.
There's a witch in the ruins.
But, you just told me there's a witch.
Right. You know any others?
Witches or rumours?
Rumors.
Oh, yes.
Like what?
Well, there's one about Sandy, you see. Apparently, she's got both parts. Them for a boy and a girl.
Is that the kind of thing witches have?
Sandy's not a witch.
Is Sandy your pony?
No, Sandy Dougal's daughter.
Oh, okay. We're so much further forward now.
Have you been in the ruins?
What?
Have you been in the ruins?
No, we pee outside so it doesn't smell.
No. Have you spent time in the ruins?
Yes, we've been in the ruins. Why'd you ask?
How large
Did you
are they?
see?
Some of them are quite big, others are quite small.
Is he on about the same thing as us?
Can we see the ruins from where we stood?
No.
The only thing I can think is maybe we'll write our questions down and hopefully he can read. Fuck it, I don't whisper that.
This could take some time.
Is it worth it? Do we think he knows anything?
Have you seen anybody else?
Where?
Over there, and a point behind him.
Well, the rest of us, we're settlers. They're in that direction.
How far?
Well, about half a day. At a steady pace, that is. They've stopped, so the wee ones can...
Just gonna have a look at the map. Like, work out our current location and work out, like, half a day's journey. Like, is that the ruins?
Okay, so make a survival check to try and identify where you currently are.
More though.
You don't identify where you are.
Right.
Maybe he'll know on the map.
Have you seen this before? I show him the map.
Oh, that's a fancy map.
Do you know where we are?
Yes.
Point.
He just points at you.
Fuck, mate. So we just move on.
Well, he's not
we
wrong.
know there's more gnomes.
Do I see them doing this?
Yeah.
I'm going to walk over in like a manner that is like you're taking too long.
Okay.
We need to get this witch. It's like I am in a hurry to get it.
He sees you coming. Well, you're a big fella.
I'll talk to the bard.
What?
Talk to the bard!
Oh, you're a bard! Sing us a song! Our Millie would love a song. Come back to the camp and sing us a song, will you?
Yes.
Give you a shiny penny.
Show us the way.
What, to the camp?
Yes.
No,
Why?
because I don't know you, and you've all got weapons.
You just invited us to sing a song.
Well, you're timid as a bard. They're not dangerous.
Oh,
We're all bad.
Oh, you're all bards?
Yeah.
Make a persuasion check. He has a look at you. Got a lot of weapons for bards.
Protection.
Yeah,
What?
I mean, we heard there's a witch around here, so we want to have weapons on us, you know?
Oh, that's the second time I've heard that today.
Yeah, that's the first time. It was probably us as well, right?
What?
It's worrying, isn't it? Protection.
Protection? No.
Bareback.
So the bards, can you show us the way?
To what?
To sing you a song.
Just sing it here. I'm not fancy.
To your camp.
Oh, to me camp. Yeah, you seem like trustworthy folk, despite the weapons and constant questions.
Yeah.
I'm going to get my map out.
Okay.
I'm going to point to the little house that we know as, well, as I know, as the witch's house.
Oh, the ruins.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm just going to point to it.
Yep.
And just wait for his response. Just going to point.
It's not all there. Like I said.
What?
Ah, fuck it.
So you want to come to me camp?
Yeah.
Now, you're going to have to promise not to slaughter me and my family.
We'll do our best.
Oh, that's good. Because Dougal, he don't take no shit.
You don't practice necromancy, do you?
What?
You don't practice necromancy, do you?
No.
Alright, you should be fine.
Okay.
Maybe here's...
That's not unsettling at all.
So, old chap, what's your name?
What?
What is your name?
Albus.
Albus. What a lovely name. My name is Scattles. Hi.
Scattles, hi. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. We would love to come to your camp and find out what's going on with your family, and you know, if we can play some music, then that would be amazing, right?
Yep.
I get my bow out and just start stringing the string on them.
Oh, that looks like you know what you're doing. I can't hear very well, you see, but that sounds good to my ears. Like a whistling.
Sure. Let's go. What's the worst could happen, right?
Okay. Though I'm actually looking for firewood. But you know these trees? They're fucking massive.
I'm pretty good with wood, but I'm more of a crafter than
Oh really?
than a chopper, yeah. I'm pretty good with wood. I can craft some good stuff. I could probably make you like a flute or something.
Right, well I
you
ain't
want to play
judging.
your own music. What?
Nothing. Okay, let's go back to the camp.
Okay. All right. Yes. Should we follow him?
Yeah.
So he starts to lead you not back directly the way you come from, slightly further west than that direction. You can see there's quite a large hill And as the sun sets, he continues on, and he's rambling constantly about what he's seen. Basically, he's seen the same thing as you. Lots of grass, the odd tree, and every now and then there's a rock. He seems to be quite interested in the geographical area.
How long have you lived here?
No, I don't live here, no. We're looking for somewhere to settle, to last.
I see.
Yeah. How long have you lived here?
I don't live here.
Oh, why not?
A bit like you, we travel.
Oh, okay. You'll find it, son.
I hope I do one day.
As night falls and it's a clear night, it's quite cold actually. He stops only to pull out from underneath the saddle. There's a blanket that he wraps around himself. Jumps back on, and in the distance, you can now see the glow of a fire just lighting up the sky ever so much. And sure enough, another hour or so, and you can see that there are several tents, some large carriages, sort of circled around a rather large campfire.
Can I draw this on map
You can certainly try.
as like a little like a memory thing? Like this was here. And then this part was
Oh. Are you going to intelligence roll this one?
No, you just need to do a survival check to see if you accurately get the location.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty good. You're pretty good at
You're
this.
rolling well tonight.
Survival and shit.
shame we're not fighting.
I know, right? But yeah, you get to maybe sort of 300 or 400 feet away, and he stops and turns. So if you just wait here, I'll just go on ahead, let them know that I'm bringing back, you lot. Otherwise, I might get a little bit startled, and
That's fine.
Dougal is not to be trifled with. So.
That's good. You might want to bring... Is Dougal your leader?
But no, we don't have a lead, not really.
Okay.
Dougal's just kind of like in charge of security, as it were.
Up to bed.
Yeah, I'll swap him.
No. Go to bed.
If you don't want to eat water, you don't want drink, get up to bed.
You might want to bring Dougal back with you.
Okay.
So we can meet him ourselves.
Okay. I'll do that then.
Do that.
So we couples off, and you can sort of hear the stillness of the night. You can hear the laughing and talking, and even a little bit of singing of those camped in that group further ahead of you. And eventually, he comes back, and Dougal appears to be a lot taller than him. So it's very dark. Do you want to make a perception check before he gets close to you, or are you not bothered?
I'm not going to roll low anyway.
I would do one when he's about 15 feet away.
At 15 feet, you'll be able to make out his features and things anyway, even in the darkness.
But the only thing I'm curious about is his race.
Okay. So he's significantly taller than Albus on his horse.
Right.
He's also a lot wider. Seems to have a very, very muscular frame. He's bigger than you.
Right.
Is he tall?
Very much tall. He's probably about 10, 11, maybe even 12 feet tall.
See why he's security now. Okay.
So eventually he comes up close, and it comes a little bit ahead. And walking next to Albus, there is a very large, like I say, hulking figure with, he's got sort of like grey skin and one large horn coming out the top of his bald head. He appears to be an ogre of some sort.
Right. Right. That's something to converse with.
And Albus comes across and introduces
Can I check
you
his
lot. He says,
body language?
"This is Dougal."
Hello, Dougal.
Just gives you a nod and a noise.
So, we are interested in maybe staying in your camp and we're curious to know a bit more about your people. That's what I thought.
Sort of scratches himself. Sort to say how people are, really. We've sort of travelled a lot and found each other, you know? We're all different in our own way, but together we're the same.
Don't judge a book by its cover.
I don't read much, really.
No, I suspect not.
I know my words, just not my letters.
Well, if you understand the words I'm saying, it's a step up from this gentleman. So, I don't know the word gentleman. It's a step up from this gnome. So, I'll cut to the chase of why we're here. We're tracking a party of undead lizard folk and potentially find the witch that wants them and controls them.
Sounds like you've got yourselves in quite a serious little conundrum.
Was wondering if maybe you know the area, maybe where she might hide. You see, we understand that she's in the ruins.
Oh, the ruins? Yeah, there's quite a few of them. Which ones are you're thinking about looking at? We've only actually managed to get through 2 of them ourselves.
You should do an insight check to make sure he's not like just a big bad working for Twitch.
Alright.
Okay.
He gives you no reason to believe that he is working for the witch.
Okay. So have you heard any rumors of witches?
Actually, no. But then again, you're the first people we've seen since we've been in this area. We've been here now for about a month. Travelling, surveying the area, looking for the right place to settle we can call home.
That's a pretty long time. I mean, you must have seen a fair few. So you didn't see anyone except for us.
No, you're the first ones. Yeah.
Curious.
Have you not seen people that walk dead?
I've seen lots of people that walk, and unfortunately we've had to bury a few dead. Not seen any of them that do the same at the same time.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that you had to bury some dead. That's the stat.
It's part of the struggle that leads to the reward.
So I'll get the map out. Well, I believe she's in these ruins here.
Right, you've got a couple of ruins missing from there.
Okay.
Now Albus, he's our man with the maps. You best get him to take a look.
Okay.
Is there an easier way to communicate with Albus? Because he doesn't seem to understand a lot of what we say.
No, he's a bit of an arsehole.
He told us he just couldn't hear us.
That's his usual excuse, yeah.
So I can't hear us.
Well, I've called him an arsehole twice now, and he's not reacted. So, we're all a bit on the fence. Currently, we're at 4 silver for the poll that says he is in fact dead. Isn't that right, Albus? Meanwhile, Albus is looking at stars.
I'll give him a pitch and say, do you all know this place?
He looks up at Dougal, who looks down and gives him a nod. So he takes out your hand. It's a very fancy looking map you've got. No, it's not at all like mine.
No? Why not?
Well, for one thing, it looks complete. Mine's mostly just blank paper.
Okay.
But yeah, that one, hard to say really. And you can see he's now paying closer attention to it. He looks at the map and he tells you that they've been here. We've been up here, that was maybe 4 weeks ago. We thought that might be a good spot. And then, you know, if there's any raiders or the like, then we'll see them coming. But unfortunately, you've got a lot of orcs up there, and they don't much feel like sharing, do they? Then they do go, no, they don't. That's why I've only got one ear. He wiggles his ear. At the other side, it's not. Vicious little bastards, orcs are. Can't talk to them about nothing. So that would kind of make sense if that's your ruins there. But you see, now out this way, we've definitely seen something out here. It was quite large. Maybe a farmstead at some point with, accompanying buildings, but no roof, and most of the walls have fallen down, almost nothing left there. Then you've got this one over here, but this is mostly swampland, so we avoided that altogether. But we don't want to live in a swamp. We're strange, but we're not weird.
Yeah, imagine that, an ogre living in a swamp.
Can I, as he's saying this, would I, like, when he's pointing to them, would I know what they would look like if I wanted to draw it?
I mean, you could mark them on your map, no problem.
Yeah, I'd definitely like to draw them on the map.
Yeah, you can do that. I'll add them to this map for next time. It's easy enough for you to add points. I'll just put them down as a point of interest. Now, what we have seen, which will kind of make sense where this is, there's one that's quite big, and we haven't been there yet because we was going to go in, and then Dougal went ahead, and he took a few of the lads, and they come back and said, no point going there because people out of there are a little bit vicious, and he doesn't want to get close up to them. So we come back. And then there's the smaller one, maybe a village or something. Hard to say, there was no well. I mean, we're settlers. We know how to build a village, and I'm telling you now, you need water, and none of these places had water. So whoever it was, fucks from the beginning.
By the sounds of this large ruin, did he point out where they were?
Well, what he'd said is that round here in sort of this area, maybe suggesting that your map is not of an accurate scale or a detailed enough scale. There's more than one locale of ruins.
Yeah.
Where did you say the was your side of the village was on the map?
It's hard to say. Your map's a bit big, but it could be here. It could be maybe closer. There's nothing for scale on this. I don't know who did this, but it's crap.
I'll pencil on a little point where you pointed the village out and say, if this witch has been harvesting dead from the lizard village, maybe she will accompanying villages or neighbouring villages as well. It might be worth asking around, because we might not know where to find her. Unless anyone has any other ideas?
He said there were some people that they wanted to avoid because they were angry or check that out because maybe the witch has someone protecting her.
What did
in
the
her
vicious people
area.
look like?
Oh, they were bandits, and I've seen bandits like you wouldn't believe.
Okay.
And these guys definitely bandits. They didn't. I wouldn't have thought they'd stay that long. But yeah, they were heading south. And before you know it, they were crossing our path. We've been watching them for a while. They were heading for the larger ruins. We were heading for the larger ruins. We decided just to go a different direction. Sometimes the easiest fight to win is the one you don't take part in,
I completely agree. So hey, listen. The reason why we're here with you is because we want to see. Maybe we could make camp with you tonight. We could maybe share stories, talk about our deeds, and maybe share a drink if you would be so kind. We're a nice bunch of folks, and you seem to be, you seem to have your heads upon your shoulders. You know what I mean?
Well, that's where they grow, so we tend to keep them there, Removing them could be a nasty procedure, probably one they wouldn't walk away from.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you there.
Now,
but yeah, I mean,
I just need to ask you a few questions if you don't mind.
Sure, why not?
You keep talking about this witch.
Yeah.
Tell me more about this witch. Where is she? Why are you going after her?
She has been using the dead of a village. We assume to maybe build an army. You'll say she attacks the dead, and then more dead come back to the village to collect more dead, which isn't right. Plus, one of the dead she possesses is a friend of ours, and we would like to see him put to rest proper.
And she took a travelling companion.
Oh yeah.
There was an elf with her that we'd promised to aid on his travels.
And another lizard folk.
Well, I find that elves are quite enlightened folks, despite how racist they tend to be.
Scouse kind of giggles under his breath. You know, we don't really take kindly to people that, you know, play with the dead. You know what I mean?
I don't know if I know what you mean. But this witch person, I'd like to know more about it. I think, yes, you should come along to our village. Our camp, sorry. You should maybe sit down. Now, I am going to have to insist that you don't go mixing with too many of our travelling companions. It's just, you know, some of them are, well, dickheads. And you got a lot of weapons on you there, and they ain't. So, I'd like you to stay with me at all times, if that's okay.
Is that for our protection or theirs?
Well, that's for their protection, rather than yours. I'm pretty sure I could squish all of your skulls really, really quickly. You're only little, my hands are quite big. He holds his hands up actually near your head at that point to sort of explain, I'll demonstrate his point. His hands are indeed a lot bigger than your head. But you seem like enlightened folks that we shouldn't need to resort to such violent methods to solve any differences we might encounter. So as long as we're agreed...
Oh, I'm agreed on that, although a spar would be fun one time.
Oh, I'm afraid not. I try to avoid violence at any opportunity. Well, come along then.
Alright, sure, why not?
And an ogre, no less. So I'll lead you into the camp. So the first thing that you're going to notice as you come into the camp is that this group straight away stand out 100%. They are misfits. You are seeing all kinds of things. You can see there are elves amongst this group, though they are quite short and stunted elves. I wouldn't say deformed, but
half-breeds.
Probably half-breeds that have been raised away from the rest of the elven kind. So you know full well that elves are incredibly racist. Human elf crossover is a social stigma. But if you've got a dwarf parent, you might as well not exist. half elf, half orc, you probably would just be drowned shortly after birth. They're incredibly racist. They don't. It's literally no other reason than they don't like those races. It's not for any sort of.
It's a bit like the royal family.
Logical. It's worse than the royal family. It's worse.
That's an issue for another day.
So you see some such elves. You do also see what appear to be humans. You see what appear to be halflings, gnomes. There's adults, children. There's the elderly. There's also the permanently injured, those people that are missing legs or arms that would have been not necessarily shunned from usual society, but they would struggle to find their place. Not being able to cover their own and earn their own, they would struggle in usual feudal society. You do also see goblins. There is even 2 minotaurs. There is several what appear to be hobgoblins, possibly orcs. None of you have ever been this close to such things without them attacking you, so you wouldn't be entirely sure on what you're seeing. By far the most exotic and amazing thing that I'm pretty sure none of you will have ever seen before there is 3 centaurs, what appear to be a family unit, and a man, a woman, and a child centaur. The child is young, you can tell by the face, but still towers, so that it would be a sort of head height with the Goliath. The children are playing, the adults are sitting around, the hobgoblin's knitting. It's a bit of a sight. He takes you in through the camp. This is our little merry band. Just sort of beckoning his arm to everyone. Takes you around to one point where there is several sort of, you'd say, ruffle-looking individuals, again of various races. He sits himself down and please have a sit. And you're about 20 feet away from the fire. It's quite big, and you can feel the heat from it. And where he sits down, there is a small halfling, very small, not a child, but looks quite old actually, but very small, even for a halfling, no more than a foot tall.
Yeah, I sit alongside.
Well, this is an amazing group of people. Like I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, that's kind of what we expect people to say, and when we find people, that tends to
Have you seen someone like me before?
Can't say I have, but if there's one thing that we have to get past, it's our prejudice is based on the way people look, you see? So when we first see you, we think, hey, hold on, this fella's different. But that doesn't mean he doesn't deserve his right to his personal space. And that's why I haven't invaded that space by asking what you are.
Well, I like that, thank you. But you know what? I will tell you, I am a tabaxi.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Tabaxi, eh? We'll have to
tabaxi, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know much about my own family, but I've done a little research in terms of what I am. But I grew up in Silverton, you know, I grew up with other beings rather than my own kind, you know? So I'm not too far different from, I guess, your folk in your group.
I think that's probably right. A lot of these kids here are growing up with, you know, the kind that in the major villages they would be told are their enemy. Points at a goblin that's running around. It's a goblin child, and it's God knows what game they're playing. It seems to involve stones on the floor. The good old days. And there's there's a couple of human children, and there's also what appears to be a gnome or an elf, a gnome or a halfling, who, as children, they're not really that much different, so it's difficult to tell unless you know the race. But yeah, they're all sort of playing together, and he points to the goblin and says, in any other situation, people would be calling for the guards right now. Look, there's a goblin getting our children. They're all having fun.
Can I do like a perception check to see if there's anyone from my brotherhood who happens to be in here? Because the idea of my character's brotherhood is that they're people from all different like walks of life.
Okay. Yeah. Make a perception check. You observe quickly but thoroughly everybody that you can see. It doesn't appear as though anybody from your brotherhood is in this group. At least not that you can see. But it's also worth noting that by the amount of tents that you see, the amount of carts, some of which will have sleeping quarters in them, not everybody is present in the immediate vicinity.
Okay. Cool.
Have you encountered many or much violence on the road?
Well, we do tend to, attract that if we're not careful. That's why we have such as Albus travel on ahead of where we plan on going next. If we do come across anyone, the likelihood is that a gnome will be more accepted men such as myself.
I see. So, this area on top of the hill where you found the artifact, did you like that area?
Well, Albus is really the man who chooses where we go and where we look. And the reason we went up there is for the protection if a village was viable. We never really got up close. Seems like the orcs have already taken that area and called it their own.
How many orcs?
Hard to say. We encountered a band of maybe 7, and there was some violence, I'm afraid to say.
I see. So, if you found a location you liked, we could always clear it of anyone who wishes you ill, and you could set up a village there. We're happy to assist you. I mean, most of our skills are related to killing things.
Well, Albus said that you were travelling minstrels.
Yeah, he misheard us.
Right.
Hence why we're looking for a witch, not to play hurricane.
Oh, well, that's making a lot more sense.
Yes, I suspect.
I can try and sing, or
Well,
you know what? I could probably craft a flute, given me enough time.
that might be of interest. But to answer your question, I don't think we'd require that service. You see, many of us have seen enough violence to last a lifetime, and we don't wish it on others. If we can find a way to stay and settle in peace, that would be best.
That would be best, but unfortunately, bandits will look at you as a vulnerable opportunity to steal something.
Vulnerable we may appear, yet vulnerable we are not.
I certainly hope so, because I do wish you all the best in finding your home.
I'm sure we would.
You do have the strength in numbers down.
We do indeed. In fact, this is only one of our travelling parties. There are 2 others.
Alright. Do you communicate with them?
We try. It's of course not very easy over such distances. We believe that them 2 are closer together than we are to either of them.
Okay.
They are travelling south. There's a large forest down there, which we tend to investigate.
Okay. So you think it is unlikely that we will encounter them in this area?
No, they are much further south.
I was just worried of them doing us as possible hostiles.
I think it's likely. Almost everybody is taken to be a friend until we know otherwise.
Okay.
I'd like to know more about this witch. You mentioned the dead. She takes people's dead.
Well, as we understand it, I feel like I'm just giving the bad guy all we know. There's some hidden agenda about this. We don't make characters this friendly.
Stop metagaming.
I'm glad someone.
What's going on?
I'm not the spy. Yes, as we understand it, for a long time now, a witch has collected the dead of a lizard folk village. An arrangement was made. We want to find out what that arrangement was, who was at fault, and hopefully put a stop to the bringing back of corpses.
And to find the leader as well. She
Yeah.
took the chief away from the lizard folk.
Yeah.
We said we'd try and get him back.
Now, how would she do that? If she's interested in the dead, why would she take her leader and then do what we do?
We fear to think.
Well, we don't actually know what the full deal was. They were always a bit...
Hesitant.
Yeah, they never really wanted to tell us. But the deal was to take the dead. But when we got back, their village was under attack.
By who?
By dead lizard folk.
Lizard Folk village was being attacked by dead lizard folk.
Or collect dead to make more dead lizard folk.
Sounds to me like a strange arrangement. Why would you contribute to your own demise in such a fashion?
I believe it was for protection.
I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Well, how far away is this lizard village?
Why?
You mentioned that this witch, who you're heading to, in the area that we've been surveying for quite some time now. I'd like to understand how far our territory extends.
Ours would wait.
Is this lizard village close by, or is it far away?
I'll gauge, like, in miles, but not to the nearest. I'll, like, however, like, actually, I'll just, like, a few days' journey. Because that's truthfully-ish what it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, you've been travelling for 3 days.
Okay, so a few days' journey.
For a few days, that's quite an area. We will have to consider this when making our next move. We have no intention of upsetting a witch, and will certainly not make any deals about providing our dead.
But you mean to take this territory away from the lizard folk?
No, that's not our intention at all. You see, well, Siri's talking to me. Go away, Siri. Well, if you allow me to mumble for a moment, and he reaches back and pulls out a map similar to the one that Albus had shown you, only with less information on it. And from the layout of where mountains are indicated, you can figure that these guys, or the area that he points to, is sort of around here. So you see, we started off there close to a year ago. Travelled, we've been across, we saw the dwarfs, delightful bunch, so I hear. Of course, we kept our distance and Albus went along with his dear wife. And then we came into the territory that we're in now, scuffle with the orcs, and now we find there's a witch. I think it's clear we need to move on into another area.
Well, hopefully once we find the witch, there won't be a witch problem no more.
Yeah, I mean, where there is evil, there needs to be someone standing in its way. Now, like, much like you, my friend, I don't like fighting if I don't have to. Hell, I'm as lazy as they come, but I feel like if this person is a stain on this land, if this person is making deals, turning things into undead, then maybe they should be, I don't know, dispatched or maybe jailed. I don't know. Put in behind bars or something.
It just gives you a look, really, just difficult to interpret what he's thinking. But yeah, he just seems to take on board what you've said. Doesn't respond to it.
Yeah, and says to him, much like you, I've travelled for a long time with no place to call home. Along the way, found, and she does a red light that towards the rest of them, and I'll do what it takes to keep them safe, so that I'm not on my own anymore.
I think it's a dream we all live for, whether we know it or not. What we really want to do is live.
I like the way you guys work.
It's not all of us.
Oh.
It has to be said. Some of us just want to avoid our past. Some of us just have no other place to go.
Sometimes it's good to run away from that as well. You gotta make your own path sometimes.
It's good that these people have found a home in your camp.
It is. Together we're stronger.
Cool.
Well, I know you wished us to remain here, but if you don't mind, I'd quite like to go for a walk and really take in this camp. I'm happy for me to leave my weapons in your possession if that comforts you.
Well, I'm afraid I'm going to have to decline that request, friend.
I understand.
How about I go with you, Last?
Are two of us allowed?
Again, I would prefer it if you didn't spend too much time, or in fact any time, away from myself.
Okay.
What if you was to take us just so we could say hello?
Well, my position here isn't completely random. You see, he starts to move his hands around. At the moment, I can see all of the camp. And as you notice, there's no tents or anything like that behind him. There's some horses tied up and things like that, but all of the people are in front of him. You can see. So I'm not just charged with making sure we keep safe, but also that we keep our peaceful ethics in place. And for that, I need to see everybody at once. I can't be distracted.
Alright. So,
It's alright.
entire village is behind us.
And from
Sorry, yeah.
yeah, so you can see everything in front of them. There's tents and things, and you can't see everyone and things like that. But yeah,
Okay, well, here's a question then. Do you know if you have any Azamar living along?
he thinks for a moment. I'm not familiar with the Azamar.
Okay. Then, if there are no other questions, I may get my head down.
Do you have Azamar with you?
Maybe.
And what do they look like?
Humanoid-ish.
And he just starts to look at you three, being the humanoid-ish ones. So, which one of you would be Azamar then?
I've got my hood up, so will you guys see my face that clear?
You can see your face roughly, but not super clear, no.
What do you know of the Azamar?
I know nothing, that's why I ask.
Oh, they're just like normal people.
Well, why are they not just called normal people then?
They're a little bit magical. You know how humans aren't magical? Azamar are like magical humans.
Magical humans.
Yeah.
Just goes back to watching the rest of the camp.
I just go around my bedroll, find at the comfiest little spot where I'm convenient.
Yeah, I stick down a bedroll.
As you've been talking to him, a couple of gnomes come across with just a few bits. It's mostly bread and meat that, as you sort of taste it, it looks like it was cooked earlier that night, but it's starting to go cold now.
But we have our own provisions, we don't want to bother you.
It's no burden at all. We all work together here, which means there is enough for everyone, plus a little more. However, if you choose not to take it, we won't be offended.
No, I'll take it, I was just...
Roll a constitution check, I'm only joking.
What a way to go.
Killed by gnome poison. No, yeah, it tastes like it was. The bread is hard. It was baked a while back. The meat is quite nice. It's cold, but yeah, it's been cooked earlier on today. It's not like smoked or anything like that and been cured for keeping for a long time. So it's actually a nice change after the last few days of using rations.
I want to see if I can get an audience. Is there any sort of loose wood around the camp not doing anything that I can sort of whittle and have a play with?
There's a pile of firewood not too far away. You could grab some of that.
I'm going to say to the ogre, did we catch his name?
Yeah, his name's Dougal.
Of course it is. Hey, Dougal, do you mind if I take a log from your firewood? I quite fancy myself a little bit of woodwork. I'd like to show you what I can do, right?
He scratching his belly, he just gives you a nod.
Okay, so I'm just going to sort of pick up a piece of firewood, sort of sit down, stick it between my legs, get my claws out, and start building something, start putting something together. Maybe like a memorial of the camp that we're in.
Okay. So yeah, roll your
to represent it.
Martin was here.
Yeah, roll a woodcarver's tools check. Nice. It's not a bad roll. Not a bad roll at all. Yeah, so by the time you've finished it, it's at 26. I'm going to say, yeah, it's whatever you want it to look like. It pretty much looks like that. I don't know what the fuck you're making. A memorial in a piece of wood.
It's what it is. It's basically the idea of what he's doing is to sort of around the edges. I've sort of carved in people sort of holding hands all sort of together, different sizes, different shapes, different races, and then in the middle, like just like I guess like a campfire or something to shows that they have like the home is wherever they are. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fine. You do that. It looks like what you want it to. Yeah, he watches you whittle away. It's very nice. It's very nice. It's beautiful to see your inside idea come out like that.
Well, it's yours, sir. I wouldn't want to take it with me. It's about all of y'all. It's a little something to say thank you for having us tonight.
We'll take it and we'll treasure it. Perhaps you should carve in your name or maker's mark, so we'll always know who did it.
I already have. It's on the bottom.
So it is. Can't read myself, but I'm sure someone who can will know what it says.
You can't get a Scattle's piece without a Scattle's mark.
Okay. Okay. So unless there's anything in particular you guys want to do, he'll answer any more of your questions within reason, and then nothing else. We can jump to the morning.
Leanna's going to ask if she can read some more of the book.
Yeah, it's fine. Let me sleep. All that talk about protection and whatnot. Let me sleep.
Read the book?
Yeah, she's going to read some more and then trance for 4 hours.
How many hours are you putting into reading?
How long have we been taught? Well, saying that if they're just sitting down.
You probably don't need to set a watch here. You can see around the outside of the camp there are people standing watch. So, yeah, you
the normal 8 hours.
Yeah.
So 4 hours reading and then 4 hours trance.
Okay, so 4 hours reading is quite a lot. You can get through quite a bit. In particular, what you get through is more details of the darkness that followed. So you read previously about how she created the drow, and how the drow were considered nearly perfect, and an improvement on the elves. And now you start to get into what she did with the drow and the others like her. So the first thing she did is she instilled in them the matriarchal nature of their society. Women are in charge, not men. And she instilled that in them with such a passion that they would never be ruled by men ever again. And then she basically sent them on a task to spread that around the world. In the book, it's described as the heathen gods. The heathen gods haven't come up before, and no name is given to them as of yet, but the heathen gods cursed the drow so that the very light of day would burn them and damage them. And Satan being filled with hatred, and that hatred giving her power, she couldn't remove what had been given, but she overpowered the sun, and she caused the darkness, the night, to extend. You also learn that she experimented with creating other races to support the Drow in their crusade to correct the plight of patriarchs. The descriptions, there's so many descriptions of things that she created, one after another, that it's difficult to separate, but you do pick up on a few of them, and you do get what seems to be spiders and then a mix between the two, so drow and spiders. So humanoid bodies with abdomen up, and then spider everything else. It stops with the storytelling after that and starts to get into the actual teachings of Satan. And the first of those teachings is that all the temples have to be underground so that the drow can be brought there and the drow can praise her as she wants. And from your 4 hours, that's about what you get. It also goes into like designs of temples, how they should be laid out, the purpose of rooms, and how what sort of arrangement altars need to be in order to achieve those things that it promises, such as extending life and things like this. And as always, I'll give you more information during the week. Okay, so we'll pick up in the morning. Let's take a break.
Sounds good.
Have a quick break. We'll come back.
Thank you for joining us so far.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Stick around. It's loads of fun.
Oh, Bill.
Yeah, let us know if you've enjoyed it. So.
Yeah. Let us know if you
Yes. And yeah.
Let us know when we
Sounds.
forget to mute ourselves. Forget to unmute ourselves.
Yeah, make sure you do that because we've done that before. In fact, most of our comments are people saying can't hear you.
Which is
Good.
actually still helpful.
Good.
Oh yeah, it's very helpful.
Then
Anyway,
we think, oh, we haven't unmuted.
Okay, 15 minutes and we'll be back.
Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Thank you for sticking by. We've now suitably refreshed, gone to the toilet, and we're ready to carry on.
Yeah.
Thank you for your
Good times.
Ready to carry on. Oh yeah, we're back. It's getting really smoky in here. You can actually see it on the camera now. Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh dear.
It looks like
Ambience.
Under the table.
ambience.
Was that round campfire?
That's it.
Oh,
No, your house is on fire.
Nah, that's not what it is.
Campfire.
That's the corona.
Smoking the germs out.
Smoking the gems out. Okay. So, picking up from where we left off, you guys had spent the night with this band of misfits, miscreants, and exiles, and whatever else. You'd spent the night there. By the time the morning rolls around, there's a lot of activity going on early morning. So there's people chopping wood, there's people gathering things, there's children making noises. Essentially the camp, which as you guys have spent the night and you're now sort of waking up to it, you can see this camp is probably made up of about 40 people. So it's quite a large travelling group. As you wake up, Dougal is still close by. Seems to be eating his breakfast at the moment. He notices that one or two of you start to rouse, and he doesn't say anything to you. He seems to be respecting your space right now and leaving you to it. But what would you like to do? Yeah, I would say one by one. It's up to you guys. You can decide when you wake up.
Well, as much as I like these people's hospitality and their attitude, I feel we have a job to do, and we should be pressing on. Do we have a plan?
Well, how far are we now from where we was aiming for?
I will try to take another look at the map. Where are we now?
Well, you don't know exactly where you are. Make a survival check. Okay, that's pretty good. So you are, roughly speaking, you are around here, roughly speaking.
Okay.
So you guys, in the night, clearly without being too aware of it, you've actually been taken through this valley. So when Albus was leading you up to where you ended up, it got dark enough that you passed through that valley. So the day before you were up on the top of this hill, you travelled down the hill, you've gone this way. Yeah.
So, I think we need to go east.
Yeah, it seems to be, based on your map, exactly east.
That little penciled village where he thinks it is that between us and the ruins?
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah, I think as we make our way eastward, pay a visit to our village, see if they've had any similar goings on, or if they've heard any rumours, and then we have a lead.
Seems like a good plan.
Sounds like the thing to do.
So as you guys are looking at your map and talking about plans and things, Dougal comes along. It's been a pleasure having you here. I've got Irish overnight. It's been a pleasure having you with us. But, you've got a place to be. And in the night I was speaking with one or two of the others, and we've just confirmed we're going to remain here for 5 more days. Albus has more surveying he wants to do, and also we've apparently heard of travellers coming from the west. We're going to see if we can maybe trade some of our wares with them. So if you do manage to survive your quest, please do come back and let us know how you've got on.
Oh, we certainly hope to survive, and we will. I hope we can do it within that 5 days, and we'll see each other again.
Albus is not too far along for him, and he comes over, and he's walking this time, so he's right down knee length. So, I'm going to take you to the village. Eh? The village.
Yeah, I hear you. How long will it take to get there?
Strokes his stubble. Oh. Half a day. Should get you there before lunchtime for set off now.
I'll be off then.
Right you are.
That sounds good. Thank you for taking us. We appreciate it.
No bother. So he wanders off to grab his pony, giving you guys a little bit of time to get everything packed up, your bedrolls. You keeping the book or are you handing it?
No, give it back to Block.
Okay. Book is returned to you. As the book is returned to you, you start to feel a little bit more whole. You didn't realise until it was returned to you, but you felt as though you were missing something.
Okay. Does the book... Is it different anyhow, now that someone's actively reading it?
The book?
Yeah, does it give off any essence?
What sort of essence?
Well, now that someone's actively reading it, I'm wondering if there's like maybe arcane activity. So, it's like an advertisement. It only like gains power if you look at it.
Oh, I see. You would make a investigation check as you look over the book.
And just as low.
3. Okay. It doesn't appear to, no. As you look over the book, you feel a connection to it, like a father looking at a child, perhaps. This book is important to you. It's precious to you.
It's going to
Be an
wander off
heirloom
into
for
the
all
hills.
that follow in my life.
Probably good, I can't read it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll sort of tuck it back away then.
Okay. No problem. Yeah, so by the time Albus returns, you've all packed your things up and you're ready to go. Dougal comes over and tells you that he's just going to escort you outside of the camp back to about where you were, only going in a different direction now. Which is done with. Once you get to this range, and then Dougal stops, says, "I will leave you here then. It was a pleasure meeting each and every one of you, and I very much hope to see you again."
Also, and again, our offer still stands. If anyone gives you trouble, we won't deal with it.
Well, let's just see how you get on with this witch.
All the confidence.
And then Albus sort of gives the pony a little kick and you start on your way. So you guys just blindly following Albus, or do you want to be checking your own position?
I'll be checking, like, just going off the sun, make sure we are going east.
Okay, so make a survival check. 17, very good. You're travelling northeast. You're not travelling directly east. Now on your map, based on the calculations you did earlier to figure out where you are now, you would have thought that you're going directly east. But he seems to be intentionally taking you northeast.
Did you say you've been to this village before?
Yes, that's right. I mean, what?
I'm going to insight that. Is he really fucking deaf?
That's what he said. Yeah. Feel free to insight. That was probably a joke.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like walking right next to you at the moment. So yeah, I've been there before. There's a camp not too far, directly east, and we want to avoid that because we don't know who it is.
Right. What sort of camp?
Well, that's just it. We don't know.
Well, we could find out. How long? You say it takes us half a day to get there. That is equating for this detour.
Yes.
Do you think it'll be quicker if we just go straight through and deal with this camp? That's asking high.
I see why not. We could definitely
Well, how many in this camp do you know?
We don't know. All we know is there's a camp, and we don't want to go announcing ourselves right now until we have an idea of who that might be.
Or is it a large camp?
No, it seems to be quite a small camp.
They might have seen something. They're in the right direction.
It's worth buying a visit. If everyone's on board, you can hang back if you feel it's hostile.
Well, yeah, I think I might. Once we get to the outskirts of the camps, I'll let you go on ahead.
Sounds good. This way. And I lead us east.
Okay, so it's about 2 hours only before you get to the point where Albus stops. Tells you. So the camp should be just ahead. There's like a large collection of rocks, and then you'll see a camp there.
You're that bad. You want to scout for us? See if you'll see anything.
Just not gonna answer it.
Don't you understand what he said?
Just going ignorant. Because I'm just trying to figure out where the bard is. Like, I'm just looking around like that.
Bard.
I just keep thinking it's saying bad.
I'm
just like looking around like.
I walk up to the I'm gonna call that parrot to the horn.
Listen to me.
I am talking to your fancy flying and seeing if you can see this camp.
Starts chewing with its feathers underneath its wing.
Is that no? Well, that's useless.
Was there a reason we brought these two with us?
I'm starting to
How far is the camp to?
Probably 500 feet. Not far at all.
Cool. I will go and try and stealth a little bit closer.
Okay, so make a stealth roll. Ooh, that's a good roll. Your rolls have been great tonight.
You really have.
So you sort of flake off to one side. The bird takes to the sky, and you get close to the point where there's this large rocks, which is what you've been told the camp is at the other side of, and you get right up close to there, and you can't hear anything at the other side. It seems fairly quiet.
Can I like a little peek?
Yeah, make a perception check for me. Oh man, these rolls, Dave.
He's got all the good rolls.
You're gonna start rolling ones if we ever get to fighting. If we ever get to fighting. Okay, so you have a little peek around, and you can see there is a fire in a central area. The coals are black. They don't look like they've been lit recently. There's no signs of anybody else being there within the last sort of 24, 48 hours.
Right,
So although this was an active camp,
I'm just gonna let's go walk into it and just look for like what sort of tracks to see if I can like discern like what sort of animal or person might be in there.
Alright, fine, yeah. We'll still use your 22. So you do find some tracks in there, and 22 is really high. So you find that there is humanoid tracks for footprints, the booted, and there's also hoof marks from a horse.
Can I tell how many like would have been there?
You'd have to roll an investigation check to get more details, or survival if you want to understand where they went. Or both.
There it is.
It's difficult to understand exactly how many there are here. It could be one guy who danced, it could be 40 people. The tracks are also quite old. And it's rained in the last 48 hours.
Yeah.
Survival if you want to understand which way they went.
Yeah, I'll go do that. I'll have a look which way they went.
Okay. So it looks like these guys came from the north. They clearly spent a night and then they moved on to the southeast. So on your map, it's difficult to sort of illustrate because it's such a small scale, but the camp is about here, and they would have come from this direction and left in that direction. So if you think 2 days ago you guys were up on the top of the hill, you might have seen them.
Welcome to Hull.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you for joining us this evening.
Sponsored.
Going out on
Sponsored by the chavs outside.
Yeah, I'm just watching it.
It's not like we have to do.
It's just chavs fighting. Gotta love them chavs. Actually, I don't think they happen. I think they know each other.
Yeah, I think that's how they communicate with each other, isn't it?
You think you're fucking clever is a term of endearment. Okay, so yeah, now you know which direction they came, which direction they went. You know that 2 days ago you was at the top of the big ass hill, so you would have missed them entirely.
I will just walk back to the group.
Alright. Do you update them on what you found out?
Yeah, I'll just camp's dead. Left the next night. Just stayed one night, and that's it.
Isn't it unusual that they would just leave camp with provisions and everything?
No, there's nothing like that.
No. That was just cats.
Just an empty fire.
Right.
That was spent.
Right. Yeah. Right, well that's just more cool then.
Yes.
No reason to stop.
No, I'm good. My legs are limber. I'm all good.
So I'll just wave over. What's his name?
Well, he was still where you guys were.
Alright.
Yeah, so it was only Dave that went on ahead.
Nice.
So yeah, he's quite satisfied by that, and leads you on. So you guys now travel for the rest of the morning, and it gets to the sun's quite high, but not at its peak, so it would be sort of 11 a.m. to 12 noon time. And now just ahead, less than a mile away, you can see the ruins of a building of some sort. Looks as though it's quite overgrown from this distance. The walls aren't as smooth or as right angled as you would expect, and nature started to take it back. And Albus stops and says, well, there's your ruins. Continue on in this direction after the ruins, and you'll get to the city. We never went there, like I said, there were bandits or something like that there, so we avoided it. This place was fairly empty, nothing of interest there.
This is just the foundations of the building.
Not quite the foundations of a building. It's still ahead of you, about a mile. The village ruins.
Yeah, it's just... Okay. Thank you. I don't think... I'll walk and talk, so he's out of earshot.
Yeah, he literally don't care. The minute that you guys say that you're gone, he starts to head north.
I don't know if that really constitutes ruins. I was expecting ruins.
Yeah.
Hopefully the village nearby knows what it is we're looking for.
Suppose we'll only find out if we keep travelling through.
Well, I suppose so.
Okay, so you're travelling up to the ruined village?
Yes.
Right?
Alright, so there's very little in the way between here and there. So as you approach, you get a good look at this place. Do you want to make a perception check or use your passive?
Roll for it.
Go on.
Probably below.
I mean, as you're approaching, you could probably just take 20. That'd be alright for you all just to take 20.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there doesn't appear to be any wildlife around the village. There's no animals, no birds. Same as what you've seen in most of this area. It's just completely devoid of all sort of critters and creatures. By the time you approach, you've got a pretty good feel for this place. So it's less of a village, and actually it's about 6 buildings that were once stood. You can see the outlines on the ground of perhaps more, maybe wooden structures, and there's also a couple that were definitely wood because they're bent down, and there's very little of them left. The grass has started to grow over them and things like this. Albus was right, there's almost nothing here. There is no well or anything like that, which just is another point. The only main structure that has anything remotely close to what it once was is a large stone building. It's made from white stone slabs. The windows still have glass in them. The glass isn't particularly broken or anything, but it's very clouded from the dirt over however many years it stood empty. You can see from the outside that the roof is caved in. It was thatch roof originally. It's literally caved in the centre, so towards the sides it's still standing, but the centre of it tips inwards to an eventual hole. It's very quiet. It doesn't appear to be anybody around.
Maybe we should give it a look-see.
Yeah, I was hoping to find someone's question, but it looks like no one's here.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like somewhere where you would live willingly, right?
Yeah.
But we can check that hut over there. See if there's anyone there. Anyone that can give us information at least.
Any signs of anyone being here?
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to go and have a look.
I'll join you.
Okay. So as you enter into the building, there's the smell of musky sort of smell. Rotting fibres, probably from the thatch of the roof that's caved in and been left. The floor on this ground floor appears to have been stone, and although there's sort of mould and moss growing, the rooms are almost habitable. The stone wall, stone floor, and the glass that's left means that it's mostly dry, although very damp. It's not flooded. There's no collected standing water from the rain the other day. As you enter it, it's the floor above for the first floor, which is wooden, is mostly intact. So it's a little dark in here. It's dim light, but you don't see. There's no furniture or anything like that in here. It's literally open doorways.
Are there any prints or signs prints or signs that it's been disturbed prior to us arriving?
Make a perception check. It's good. It's a good perception check. There are footprints. There's a lot of them, and it's difficult to discern a lot of information from. Some of them look like they're booted, others look like they would match clawed feet. You'd have to make an investigation check to learn more about them.
I'm just wondering if it's most likely just a tribe that we just ignored. They have already just killed them.
That would fit, yeah.
Do I want to look this place over or move on east farther? We are, just to confirm.
It almost looked like someone did. Looks like someone's already been here. Someone's already tried that. Kind of looks ramsacked and lit on fire and then just been left.
I think we should definitely push on.
Didn't the group we were just with say they had a look round here?
Yeah, but I mean, they didn't seem like the kind that would burn something down to the ground and then let someone stay with them. Seems.
How long ago was that burned down? Is anyone that you know wood? Do you know how long burnt wood looks like?
Can I roll on it?
Yeah, you can roll on that. Roll on your woodcarver's tools to investigate the wood.
Okay.
That's a good roll. That's a really good roll. Okay, so the fire is probably 6 months to a year old. It was an intense fire that was doused relatively quickly. Not all of the wood from the timber frame is burnt. Most of it that isn't burnt all the way through. That's how you know that it was an intense fire that was dealt with quickly and doused rather quickly. But yeah, that's kind of what you get.
Okay. So I'll just relay the information on it, like maybe like half a year to a year. The fire was dealt with, but yeah, I mean, this wasn't recent.
No, it's
not in a span of weeks.
Yeah, by the sounds of it, this is old news. I think Goliath is right. We probably should just carry on moving forward.
Agreed. Press on.
Can we see anything? Is it all just continue barren?
No, you can now make out the ruins of the city. It's a lot larger than this place, but the term city that has been used a few times is obviously that's a lot of embellishment. Somebody's overestimating the size of the place. It was a town at best, unwalled, but there's probably no more than 100 buildings you can make out from this place.
Well, if everyone else can make that out, I think that's as good a place as any. It's large enough that it should appear on the map, and it does look in ruins from here.
It looks like the place.
Well, let's get a closer look.
Russian marching order. Followed by
me. I will after boss.
Okay. Nyjenna and Scattles, where are you guys?
I am sort of chilling out, sort of slinking behind, keeping an eye on the periphery.
I'll be not far behind these two.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, as you guys then sort of don't get lost and Scattles went inside the building, as you guys come out and sort of regroup and start to head off towards the city, there's this kind of collection of, it looks like discarded bricks, the same that was used to build this house. And as you walk past it, there's a scuttle from behind, and sort of standing up rather lifelessly, there's another one of these lizard folk that you saw at the village, and it stands and it stares directly at Lost. It's got spear and it's got its shield, and it just stands there looking at you. Doesn't do anything.
Hello.
No response. The eyes don't blink.
Do I see this?
You see this.
Are they outside at this point?
Yeah.
Would I know if it was like the dead walk?
Oh yeah, you've seen these loads of times. So that's one of them.
Well, I'll hold Bosty's chest and I'll like, there's no communication with these. They're dead.
I am aware. I have encountered that before. Well, this is a good sign. I think we're close. I guess I'll kill it then.
It does tend to be what you do.
Well, I'm not overly fond of undead, and I don't think by the looks of it, he's overly fond of me.
I don't think we want to be leaving him about if we're getting close by. We don't want extras that are going to pop up.
Plus, you know, one less undead is always a good thing. So,
True.
Roll initiative. Yeah.
Ooh, what are those fight things?
I didn't put my token. We have that token.
Oh. Why can I not click on my character? Oh yeah, we haven't got characters up.
No, I'll bring you some tokens up so that you can.
So we can do it properly.
So you can do it properly.
Ta.
Where are you?
He's just doing it now.
Yeah, I'll do it now. I mean, you can do it yourself.
Yeah.
Just FYI.
You just pull it across, don't I?
There you go, look.
Oh.
Okay. Don't mind it now.
Yeah, I've got yours.
You just got one.
That's better.
We're having a theatre of the mind battle because
you never know what we're going to do.
Mine.
Yeah. So just click your
Token.
and then you haven't got a button.
Oh, yeah,
No.
Dave ain't got a button for his.
Dave ain't got a button.
It's alright, just click on the sheet.
Yeah, you just find one which
Just that one.
just need scattles.
Do you want me to re-roll? I came out with a 7, but I can do it again.
If you're happy with a 7, I'm happy with a 7. Should we have some suitable music? Go!
And we've got Dead Lizard Folk music.
I haven't. None of the music appears to be working.
I think the would be like a banjo sort of.
It's very quiet. Anyway, onward and upwards. So first, it is the lizard folk who goes first. And the first thing it's going to do is lift its shield up and try and punch you in the face with the spikes of the shield. So that's a 14. Okay. It then follows up with its one-handed spear attack and tries to thrust that into your abdomen. So that's all over these amazing rolls. Apparently they've all been used up, and it's going to finish off by attempting to bite you.
That will work.
Yay! And that's 7 points of piercing damage, which you can reduce by.
Can I?
Yes.
Is this a barbarian thing?
No. Feet.
I have a feat.
You have a feat!
Are you thinking of the armor feat?
I might be.
That was before we changed campaign.
No.
Yeah, the only damage reduction I do is celestial and necrotic.
I was sure there was another one.
I'm looking at my character sheet now.
We'll be right.
It's been that long since we had a fight.
What? Fight? How do you do this? These dice
What's one of
have
them
meanings?
What do we click on?
Yeah, I used to have a feat that reduced it, but that was in the previous campaign.
I mean, it's been that long since we've had a fight. That might have been a previous campaign as well.
It's been 5 sessions. Okay, so I'm wrong, you don't, so just take a 7.
I mean, no, if you want.
Just spoken. Yep, so it's done the attacky on you, and that's it. It's now. Who's next? We'll out of the way. Liana's gone next.
Liana is going to cast haste on Lost.
Okay, Lost, increase your AC by 2, which I can do for you actually. Speed doubles as well.
Advantage on dex throws, and you get an additional action on each of your turns.
To clarify, if you use that action to attack, you do then attack twice. It's not an extra single attack.
And you can dash, disengage, hide, or use an object.
All out attack.
Well,
We would expect no less.
anything else from you, Liana?
No.
Okay, Lost, it's your turn.
Close distance. Sean's not done that.
sign of fear, I live on fear, and then level 1 on strength.
Okay.
Is this with advantage? Is it haste?
No. Yeah. 15. 15 hits, yeah.
Ooh.
Who would be that? 27, I'm writing this down now, and I don't even need to. I don't know why I'm doing that. That's just habits. Habits though.
And so I.
Ooh, wait a minute, that's wrong. Yeah, that's right. So yeah, the attack, as usual, the light that surrounds the blade is just sucked into it, creating this streak of darkness. And as you swing the blade down, it hits the beast and it cuts across its chest, and it just does not react to it at all.
Oh, should that have been an extra D8 because of the undead?
It might well have been an extra D8 if it was undead. Don't metagame.
That's me told. So I can take 2 additional attacks.
Yeah?
Yeah, okay, so yeah. All out attack. I'll just roll it now.
First attack comes in and it catches it with a spear and pushes it out.
You of all people cannot tell other people can react.
You'll never remember
You haven't
it.
raged at all in this campaign, and you was a barbarian for most of it.
I know. The damages was good.
Yeah, it catches the first one with the spear and throws it off, but it leaves itself open. You bring the one sword down and strike it again, straight across the chest. Roll those damages. 9. 9
Nine.
indeed. Once again, it does not seem to do the damage that you would normally expect. Not only is it not cutting the creature as deep, the creature is not reacting to the attacks at all. It's like cutting through a dummy.
Something different about this one. Yeah.
Okay, Mendeskilis. That's you.
Yes.
In case you forgot the ridiculous name you give your character.
Yeah, I will go in with my greatsword.
Do it. Yeah, do it. Greatsword 17. That definitely hits. You bring the greatsword down. Hit the creature's shoulder. Roll for damages.
There we go.
There we go. 9 points of slashing damage. So you bring the greatsword down, and it comes the shoulder, top end of the shoulder, as you face the creature. And although you would expect the sort of just cut straight through, and that would be the end of this guy, it seems to stop when it hits the bone. So it hits the clavicle, which is quite a weak bone. You'd expect it just to smash straight through it. It doesn't. It just hits it and stops.
Right. Okay.
You do have another attack.
I do.
Which does have to be another attack. You can't cast it.
I will go in with my greatsword.
26, nice. Yeah, that hits. 12 points damage. So you pull the greatsword off and you swing it against the creature's head, and once again it hits and the head is thrown to one side. You would expect this just to cut straight into the creature, and it doesn't. It stops at the bone and scratches along. As it scratches along the creature's bone, there is a sort of purple spark and puff that comes away from it. Anything else from you?
No, that will be it.
Alright, Scattle, it's your turn.
Alright, so I'm gonna sort of run up and give him a whack with my now quarterstaff.
Excellent, eh?
Shadunk.
21 hits. 8 points of bludgeoning damage. So the creature's just taken a great sword to the face and didn't actually react to that. So when you hit it with your bit of wood, it's no surprise that it doesn't react to that.
Hold on, that should have been with a plus something. That's not right. It's +4 on that damage. I haven't updated the thing properly yet.
Yeah, okay, that's alright. Sort that out after this game.
Cool.
Yeah, so I accounted for that in the damage that was done. And yeah, no response from the creature.
Okay, I'll go in with a second attack.
Okay. 19 hits.
And I'll go in for a damage.
You see, that time it added it.
That's because I changed it.
Oh, right, there we go. Well, I mean, as long as it added it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so another attack to the creature, and you know, just Jackie Chan in this guy, and no, he's just standing there taking it.
And he's going to go in for a sort of an unarmed attack. He's going to basically get the claws out and try to almost tear through the something, see if he gets a reaction.
Okay.
But it's still an or not.
So as you come in for the attack, he lifts the shield up and catches your claws. Dunk.
Yeah.
Knocks him out of the way.
Fair. That's me.
Okay. It's now this guy's turn. And continuing his efforts on Lost, he's going to start with his spear and try to jab the spear towards Lost's chest again. 17. So you just lean back literally, and you know it's one of the cool moments. It follows it up with a spiked shield attack, spins around and launches this around. Isn't it? Natural 20. So and as this catches you, it catches your face. So that's 9 points of piercing damage, and it sort of pulls quite a chunk of skin off your face as he spins around and catches you. So you can have a cool ass scar across there. As he then comes, after doing the attack with the shield, he drops both of them, grabs a hold of you, and attempts to bite your neck. Okay, so that's a 9, which misses. But he's still got a hold of you, and he's still trying to... You're not grappled. Just for the record. Okay, Nyjenna, it's your turn.
Alright. She reaches in a cloak and pulls green bow out and she's casting Melt's acid arrow.
15 hits.
That was a good roll.
That is a really good roll. 13 points of acid damage. So it's still sort of trying to bite at Lost, and it just doesn't react. So this acid sort of bolt hits it and splashes all across its right side, and burning its skin away and revealing the skeleton beneath. There's a lot of blood coming out of this creature, and it's got this horrible purpley tinge to it, so it's almost black, but as it starts to drip and the light catches it, you can see it's got this purple tinge to it. Anything else from you?
No.
Okay, Lost, it's your turn.
This definitely isn't Mozu, right?
Huh?
Definitely isn't Mozu.
It's not Mozu.
Right.
And Mozu would have very much liked to eat you now. Mozu, I lost that.
Arm.
Can I just try and take a look at it? Use one of my actions to... Because we can tell this is reacting differently to the previous one before, haven't we?
It does seem to be reacting differently.
Can I just take a look, try and figure out what's different about this one?
Yeah, you can make a perception check.
going to be the ultimate rules line question.
What?
Can I do this with the haste action? That way I can still use an attack action and get extra attack.
You would do the attack first and then look at it. You can do that, yeah.
Yeah, I just hope I don't kill it.
Let's hope so. Do your attack first.
Yes, I do on Model 1. I don't know what this is, what this husk is, but I send it to your mistress, to your judgment.
That hits.
You.
14. Nice. So it's sort of climbing on you and trying to get you, and you just jab the longsword in the side and pull out. And as you pull out, again, this black, goopy blood starts to drip from it again. It stops attacking you and casually steps down.
Okay, so I'm definitely not going to use extra attack, and I'm going to use the haste action to try and get a good look at it.
Okay.
Really low perception.
15's not bad. Okay, so ways in which it differs from the others. 15, you're going to get the obvious ones and the not so obvious ones. So first of all, the obvious things is the others didn't bleed. The others also didn't react to the attacks, but they did react to the attacks on others. So they clearly knew about the attacks. This one's behaving as though it doesn't know it's being attacked. It's not reacting to them, it's not attempting in any way to defend its wounds that are open, it's just defending itself in this kind of robotic fashion, similar to all the others did. Another thing that you notice is that the others had very white, pale eyes. The blacks themselves were very pale. This one doesn't. This one has eyes very much as you would expect a lizard folk to. So it's white with a sort of oval yellow piece and then a black piece in the centre. So its eyes look very much alive. That's about it. It is not breathing.
Humans didn't use it.
No.
Well, we'll see. It's the one regenerated, so we'll just do that one turn.
Okay, next is Mendez.
Ooh, cool. If I use my fighting staff, can I use the short swords?
Yeah.
So,
Well, it's dueling, so you pull out just one sword.
Because it can't be a great axe when it's dueling, then.
No.
Great swords, right? So yeah,
No.
short sword is
A one-handed sword and nothing in the other.
Yeah, I'll do
No
that.
weapons in your hand.
So,
Yeah, that definitely hits. 12 points, that is enough. So as you run up behind the creature with your short sword and sort of jab it through the spine and push down into the heart, the creature just stops. Its eyes, which were kind of not focused anyway, now just sort of separate and move. You know, they move into the backs of its head, and its body goes limp as you pull the blade out, and this thick black purpley ink sprays across the floor, and it drops down onto the floor.
I think when it lays down, I'm just going to say this is how nature's meant to be when you die.
The last ones we fought, they were about their wounds, and we had to cut off their heads, if you remember. I noticed this one's different in the way it's fought and in some of its appearance. I think we should just keep an eye on it and see if it regenerates in the same way.
May help to get an idea in terms of what we may be up against in general. Sure.
So we're no longer in turn-based combat.
Would there been any way I would have seen, like, why he was acting different fighting the lizard?
You've been hunting these guys for the last couple of weeks. You fought ones like this.
Yeah.
They didn't regenerate.
Would I have noticed Lost acting a bit different to...
No, because you've not seen him fight. So this is the first time you've seen him fight.
That's true.
And you've not seen any like he's talking about other ones that regenerated. You've only ever seen ones like this, that on their own, they die relatively easily.
Just going to sink 10 points of play on hands on myself.
Okay. That's fair enough. Unless, well, we must have reached the point of where we're meant to be.
Yeah.
If we're finding these creatures this deep in the ruins.
We haven't seen anything else for days. And now these start popping up again.
Maybe we should be on a bit more alert.
Sure.
Not a bad idea.
These usually travel in, I wouldn't say packs, but in a gang of so many.
This one healing in any way, like the others.
Doesn't appear to be.
I'll behead it for good cause anyway.
As you behead it, there is another of this black ichor, and it starts to pour out as well as it does from the wounds that Mendes inflicted on it. And this black, purplish blood just keeps flowing out of it. Lots and lots and lots, to the point where you guys have to take a step back or it's going to cover your feet. There is a hell of a lot of blood inside this creature. More than you would expect.
Well, that's certainly unusual. I've got the heads of quite a lot of creatures, and I've seen a lot of blood. Never been like that before.
Maybe it's like mixed with something else. Tainted it or...
Do you want me to taste it again?
We don't know what it is. It's maybe not a good idea.
Has anyone got like a vial or a way to take a bit of the blood?
It's not something I carry.
Don't think I've got any.
We'll pop down and look at it. And sort of watch how it's flowing and stuff.
I only have jars in like a little holder there.
No, you don't.
I do.
This isn't imagination land. You can't just decide you've got something.
Is there any feel of magic or anything?
Make an arcana check. That's a pretty good roll. There's no magical auras being given off by it. However, you do know that, I mean, the blood is definitely strange. Dark, black, purplish blood is definitely strange. The smell as well is different. It doesn't smell like the typical iron smell that blood would normally give. You're not sure what this is, but you're fairly confident that it has been altered magically. Whether or not this is another substance that has been put in the creature, or it's been blood that was transformed into what it is now whilst it was already in the creature, you're not sure. But there's definitely something magical about this. 24 is quite high, so if you was going to put a school of magic on that, you don't know for certain, but it would either be transmutation, or necromancy.
But this isn't blood.
You're not 100% sure.
Directed by Tarantino.
You can look towards what to say. It's strange. It's not that it's not blood, and it's not that it is blood. There's magic up there.
Well, it's definitely a sign that we're going in the right direction. I wonder how many more of these there are, and how populated that ruined city might be. But we'll press
Maybe
on.
it would be a good idea to like do some kind of recon around the edges of it rather than go straight in.
That's a very good idea, yeah.
Okay, so you guys pressing on. It is lunchtime and you haven't eaten since this morning. You wouldn't be risking exhaustion if you decide to head straight on now. But it might come into play if your night is interrupted. Because it'll be nightfall by the time you reach the city.
It will be.
It'll be close to. You will definitely need a break shortly after reaching it, or shortly before.
Okay. So we could take a rest now, get there a bit later, and then first thing in daylight, we make a perimeter around and see what we can see.
Think that sounds like a good plan.
Make sure we keep a watch, see if we see anything happening.
Is there any tall trees around?
Sorry?
Is there any tall trees about?
Not in your immediate area, no.
Is there anything like tallish sort of?
The tallest structure where you are right now would be the stone building that has the caved-in roof.
Right. Is there anywhere Auroch can go there to perch?
Yeah, Auroch could perch on it quite easily.
Yeah. I'll use it as like a little alarm.
Yeah, that's fine. So you give her a command that she recognises to go sit on watch, which she can do for a couple of hours, no problem. She'll let out a squawk if she sees anything.
Yes. Good.
Okay, so you guys, you stop, you rest, you eat, drink. Anything else you guys want to do before you decide to head up to the city?
No, not really.
Go on then. Let's go for prayer. I'll wander off for a few minutes.
Here he goes.
It's about time. I was rolling low. Yeah, probably not getting left. Wings out. Cut the hand, why not? And just close my eyes. I don't know what these things we are facing. I don't know who's responsible, or even what you would want me to do with them, or any of those who are potentially at fault. But I will carry this out to what I believe are your beliefs.
Okay. Yep, make a religious rolling. One.
Ooh.
Oh. Okay, so you sit down, blade in your hand, cut the hand, you say your prayer, and you still have the blade in your hand.
Yeah.
Yep. The black or the reddish stain that you have on the blade turns visibly darker as you hold it, and as you move it in light, the blade becomes almost completely black. There's just some parts of the original silvery steel colour of it, and in your hand, where the blood had pooled, and in your fist, you feel something. And as you open your hand, there is a coin in there that you are unfamiliar with. It's made of gold. It's covered in your own blood. On one side of the coin, there is what appears to be a male human. He's wearing what appears to be a crown. On the other side, there is the image of a horse, just the head of the horse, and sort of parallel with the neckline of the horse, there is a blade, a dagger, or a sword. It's very well made, and it's quite heavy, possibly solid gold.
So it's real.
It's real.
How much time has passed?
It seems like almost no time has passed.
Okay. Make my way back to camp.
Okay.
Alright. How long do wings last? Just a minute, innit?
I think it is a minute, yeah.
Yeah, so they'll have disappeared by the time I get back.
Depends how far away you went.
I did say 10 minutes out.
Yep.
Yeah. So they've dissipated.
Yeah. I'm just going to double check it just to make sure.
I'm sure it's because we have a 10 count in combat.
Yeah, that would make perfect sense. Never mind, let's just say it. Minor details.
So is the coin still there by the time I get back?
Yeah, quite all that.
Liana,
You back?
I am. Can you take a look at this coin? Does it look familiar? Have you seen anything like it on your travels? Don't mind the blood.
Taking a look at the coin?
Yeah.
Make a history check, because it's not a coin that's used at the moment. Not that you're aware immediately.
Can I use my 15?
15? Yeah, you can use your 15. So it gives you a 20 overall.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah, you've studied history, not intensely, but just as much as curiosity is demanded. This is a Talarian coin. So the Talarian kingdom was an offshoot of New Hawk, which is much further south. It's very close to where you guys first met each other. And not too far from the Lizardfolk village. Prima Villa is the capital of New Hawk. So yeah, it was kind of like an offshoot. There was several 100 years ago, 150 years ago, there was a sort of group that decided to go off on their own and formed the Talarian Empire. It didn't do very well. This appears to be one such one.
Well, it looks like a Talarian coin, but where have you got one from?
I cut myself and it appeared.
Well, that just raises more questions than answers.
It's how I pray. I find it's usually the best way of getting my lady's attention.
Well, further south, are the humans.
Yeah.
There's the human settlements, and there were a group that parted ways and tried to be on their own, but it's a long time ago.
Do they not exist anymore?
Most of them returned back to New Hawk.
Most of them went back.
There'll be old men and women who were children that returned back.
If you go, you might find some old people that were children, but they return back to the main group.
Weren't we all on our way to New Hawk when we all woke up in that cave?
We was all in that area.
It's definitely a place I would like to visit, I think. Maybe get some answers. But thank you. I'll hold on to it for now.
So, we gonna do this thing?
Yeah.
So you guys head off. How close did you want to get to the city before stopping?
You explained how hot spell worked, didn't you?
Yeah.
So really, we can get as close as we can to it.
I can probably help with that. If you want to try and do it without making too much noise.
I'm not very good at not making noise. My armor clings around. So you may want to go ahead if you want to do that.
I got a way of making us a little bit more stealthy if needs be.
Okay, well that's wise. We keep our eyes open and stick to the shadow. We should lay eyes on them before they lay eyes on us.
If at least for a little bit of time, so we can actually get an idea in terms of what's going on.
Well, I think we just get close enough for tonight, and then we investigate at daylight.
Sounds good.
But
Yeah.
that's worth keeping in mind.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Sounds pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Oh, we go.
So how long does Pass Without Trace work?
30. Well, that's 30. Up to an hour.
Up to an hour. Okay. So you guys are still a fair few hours, about 3.5, 4 hours away from the city. It's big, so that's why you can see it from where you are now, but it's about 1.5 miles to 2 miles away, which at walking distance varies. But definitely stealth in that last way. So I'm going to say that you guys, you get to where you've got like less than an hour left. Go ahead and cast the Without Trace.
Mm-hmm. So it basically just means that
+10 or something.
yeah, everyone gets a +10 as long as you're within 30 foot of me.
Yeah. Okay, so everyone roll their stealth. You haven't seen anybody up here who's been patrolling or otherwise watching.
With the advantage.
15. Disadvantage for me.
Mm-hmm.
Was it for me? The advantage or not?
No, it's normal for you. So, what's your star?
23.
Oh, yes.
33.
Yeah, it's +10 on all of these. Okay. So you guys can get now this town that I'm going to continue to call a city. It doesn't have walls, so or any sort of defensive fortification or anything like that. So as you guys get close, how close to the buildings do you want to get? They appear to start quite sporadic. It looks like the storage places, maybe used for farming, etc. But they are well and truly finacked. The roofs have long since gone, and a lot of them were made out of wood, so they just kind of collapsed over. But the stone buildings that were there, of which there were a lot, they stand as empty husks with no roof. So how close to the city are you going? In the city, sticking on the outskirts?
How many hours a daylight do you reckon we got?
Probably less than an hour. The sun is setting.
I mean, come to think of it, most of us can see in the dark. Do we even...
I can do a night vision.
Goliath don't have night vision.
No, it's spelled in it.
You've got a spell for dark vision, but you have to cast it. Just so you're aware.
Yeah. Do we even want to camp here, or do we just want to go in and get it done?
Maybe we could use the dark to our advantage.
Maybe.
Maybe. I don't know if I can see in the dark. Can I have anything about... Probably not, but are undead more powerful at night? Or anything like that?
You have no memories that would lead you to believe that.
I have no memories.
We have some of Nyjenna's. She might not know anything about them though.
I think it's fine to fight them at night. So we just want to press on, sneak in, make as much noise and draw them out. Why do we think this witch will be hiding?
Difficult to tell. I barely know what a witch is beyond like folk tale.
That's it, we've only got tales to go by.
Mm.
They'll live in pretty much anywhere dry. So a building or something that looks like it'd be shelter.
Would we want to fight a witch in the dark, or would we wait till daylight?
Well, what difference does it make?
No difference to me, but...
No, there might be a difference. We might be tired. Are we tired?
You're aching from a day's travel. But
We took a short rest.
you took a short rest, essentially.
Well, not. How does everyone feel about fighting through the night?
When you guys basically walked for 4 hours, fought a lizard, and rested for half an hour, then walked for another 4 hours.
I'm happy to carry on.
I know I won't be up for a laugh after that, but I'm not an adventurer.
That's right.
I don't think it'd hurt to see what we're up against out there.
Yeah.
No.
Let's press on into the town then.
Just do it.
Okay. Gonna press on. That's where we'll end tonight's session.
Ooh.
As we enter the city.
Ooh, yeah.
Wah, wah, wah.
Interesting.
Well, we had a fight.
Yes.
We had a fight. It's about time. We don't have many fights, so it's it's always good when we do.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's good. See, better when we have bigger fights.
Yeah. So I hope you all enjoyed it.
Yes,
Indeed.
we did.
Players and viewers.
Thank you for joining us, folks.
All
Thank you,
viewers.
viewers.
Appreciate you all.
Yeah,
we
will
do.
too.
Very
Give us
good.
a thumbs up. We're nearly at 200 followers, so give us a follow. Help us get 200. What we at, Sarah?
We was at 187 when I checked earlier.
187. We need 13 followers to get to that 200 mark. Help us out.
Oh, 197, sorry. I was rating.
Oh, wow.
Oh, we need 3. Come on, we've got literally 3 people viewing right now. Followers, if you haven't already.
Yay!
That would. I'm going to wait 2 seconds to see if anybody follows. Oh, viewer count just went down to 1.
Good times.
Good times, good times. Let's just roll these credits. There's some credits. This is the end of the show. So,
Thank you for joining us, and we'll be back next week.
yeah, we will.
And we might fight a bit more.
We might. Still says you're Nyjenna. Let's make that change. Also says that James is Mozu. We should change that too.
Well, that's not my department.
That's my department. Mozu is dead. Nyjenna's soul is gone. I'm the only one who's still doing the same thing. Yeah, but that's now part of Nyjenna.
I'm still playing the army.
Yeah, but you're getting into his email book.
You're just reading it. It's a bad influence.
Alright, yeah, so bye everyone. Thank you.
Bye.